What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. So a few days ago, some Gishki support was announced, and I figured I'd go over the new cards, and then I do this from time to time whenever some new support comes out for old archetypes. I like to go back and reread all the cards. So we'll see what all the hype's about. The only card that I know about, like literally the only card from Gishki that I know, is this one, the Evan Gishki Goose Kraken. Lets you look at two random cards from your opponent's hand, and you just take one of them, or you shuffle one of them into the deck. It is not a hard once per turn either, not even a soft once per turn. It's literally not a once per turn. So if you ritual summon it, you get to take cards out of their hand. I think it was a part of some loops at some point. I think Gishkis actually were like relevant on some level. So we'll see if the other cards are good. Well, let's start here with Grim Gishki. You can ritual summon exactly one ritual monster with a card effect. Interesting, okay. How many ritual monsters don't have card effects? Exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters. I think that's all of them, right? Anyways, this card can be used as the entire requirement. Pretty cool, right? Don't these multiple monsters? If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one Gishki monster from your deck, except a copy of itself. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn, except with ritual monsters, which is probably fine. And then you can only use this effect of this card once per turn. Okay, so it's all the materials. You don't have to tribute multiple monsters. If it's normal or ritual summon, or normal or special summon, excuse me. Okay, it's special summons from the deck, which is, I mean, you can't complain too much, right? That sounds pretty good to me. Well, pretty good. All right, this is the new ritual spell. This is Gishki Icemear. They should combine this with Ice Jade somehow. I think that would be pretty neat if they could do that. This card can be used to ritual summon any Gishki ritual. Okay, you can also tribute either one face-up monster your opponent controls, or monsters from your hand or field, whose total levels exactly equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If you do, you lose life points equal to the summoned monster's original attack. Fine. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Gishki monster in your graveyard, place it on top of the deck, and if you do, place this card on the bottom of the deck. Okay. That's just, you don't see the effects like that very often. I guess you get to shuffle some cards back, but it stacks on the top and bottom. That's a very unique card effect. But it's cool that you can tribute a... You might be able to just ritual summon this and just tribute your opponent's monster depending on the level. That sucks, it has to be the exact, right? Whose total levels exactly equal the level. That makes things kind of weird, right? I guess the idea that you're tributing your opponent's monster is like kind of niche, so I don't know. It's pretty good. This is one of the weirdest cards. Like, this is a very unique card effect. You just don't see cards say things like this, stacking on the top and the bottom, tributing face-up monsters, exact levels. There's just a lot going on. And this is the new spell card. Add one Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. How many archetypes could benefit from just having a card like this? During the end phase, if you control a water ritual monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Set one Aquamir spell trap from your deck or graveyard. How interesting is that? Okay, that's pretty cool. That's a great card. It searches you. It's a +2. At the end, well, I guess it's really just a +1, but the monster you're going to add is going to plus you anyways. You're probably going to, search this card, which gives you a ton of advantage. And then also during the end phase, you just banish this and get to use it. Very good card. I mean, these two cards obviously really good. I don't know at the end of the day about this one, but I mean, these two are great. So this is Gishki Nera Manis. Okay. You can ritual summon this card with any Gishki ritual spell. If this card is ritual summoned, you can target one monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Okay, great. Very good. You just get to bring something back, which is great. If this was in your graveyard, that'd be awesome, right? Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summon from the extra deck. Sure. It's 3k body too, which is awesome. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can return one Gishki ritual monster you control to the hand. And if you do, negate the activation. And if you do that, shuffle that card into the deck, which is like the best form, right? Shuffling cards back in is like literally the best form of removal. So other than maybe like face down banishment. I would say that's probably better. But non-targeting removal is always just really good. And it's kind of a body that's hard to get rid of. I guess you can return itself as well. You can return itself, and then this card, I think, yeah, great. So I kind of get the idea. I looked at this card just a little bit before I got started on this video, right? Where you can use this effect. If you search out and you end up summoning this bad boy, we have 2 negates. Because this is not a hard once return at all. It's a soft once return. So you use the effect to bounce itself, and the card, right, you get to set one of these. You get to set this card. So it lets you special summon a Gishki ritual monster from your hand. So it's 2 monster negates, which is awesome. It's really good. So like I like that the support is very pointed, which is awesome. It maximizes the old cards. It makes these cards usable. Well, I'll talk about that card. So I'm just gonna go card by card now. Let's just look at the other cards in the archetype and see how many are kind of good, how many can, you know, are gonna make its way into the modern deck, or if all of them are pretty bad. Okay, Gishki Chain. If this card is normal summon, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You can reveal 1 ritual monster or ritual spell card among them, add it to your hand among. Also, after that, place in the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. I mean, it's not bad, but it feels kind of underwhelming a little bit, right? It's not like you don't have a 100% rate, you know. It would feel like a big dud. It's an interesting card. It's definitely not horrible. Gishki Natalia cannot be special summoned. Interesting. During the end phase of the turn, this card was normal summon or flip face up, return it to the hand. When this card is normal summon or flip face up, target a Gishki monster in your graveyard, return that target to the top of the deck. Feels kind of bad. Feels kind of bad. Although I guess it makes sense. You get the stack. I think I know about this card too. If you look at the top card, if it's a Gishki monster, shuffle 1 card from the... Okay. Yeah. Alright. I mean, fair enough. Okay. I feel like there's definitely some other ways that you can... Like, this card stack. So, I mean, this card makes a lot more sense now. So, it's starting to become clear. But I don't know, like, do you really want to use your normal summon on that? Because this is like just going second. Like, this is not going to be used in going first play. I guess if it's flipped, you really wouldn't want to use this during your opponent's turn, though, unless it's like a really good card like this. But we'll just move on. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's just okay. So far, these cards are just decent. Gishki Noelia. Noelia. When this card is normal summon, you can activate the top 5 cards of your deck, send any excavated ritual spell cards and Gishki monster to the graveyard. Also, place the other cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. This could potentially be very good if you used salvage, right? I think that's what it's called. Oops, it is salvage. This card lets you add 2 water monsters with 1500 or less attack. Oh, it could be a problem. Okay. For some reason, I thought this was only 2 waters. But I think that would kind of be the idea, right? So, yeah, it's pretty good, too. When this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect... Oh, I mean, that's just too niche, right? That's just a little too niche. When this card is summoned, this is Gishki Marker. You can target 1 Gishki Ritual or 1 Gishki Ritual spell card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. Okay, I mean, I like that this is summoned, period. So if you can... Actually, if you can just special summon this out or like normal summon it, go into Coral, I think it is, Marincess Coral. Although I think that might be 1500. Coral and enemy. It's 1500 or less attack. Curses. This deck is like has so many weird restrictions that make it so close to being good. Because that would be great, right? If you could normal summon this, add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand, make, you know, Marincess Coral, bring it back. It does the same thing again. That'd be a great loop. So hopefully these cards with like less attack mean something, because that would work really well with salvaged and all the other cards so far. This is Gishki Amelia. Cannot be special summoned. During the end phase of this card that was normal summon or flip face up, return it to the hand. When this card is normal or flip face up, negate all trap cards on the effects on the field until the end phase. So random. This is Gishki Beast. When this card is normal summon, you can target one level 4 or lower Gishki monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face up defense position. Good. This is definitely a card you would use. So I can see that happening now. You look at the top 5, you mill something like this. Maybe, no, you wouldn't play the Chaos. I was going to say, maybe you just want to keep milling a bunch of cards, but I mean, that's probably pretty niche, I would guess. Maybe not horrible, though. This would just become a much better summon. And you can make Toad, right? You can make Bahamut Shark in this deck. So if you like normal summon this, bring back a 4, maybe get some advantage, that'd be pretty decent. Okay, let's keep the ball rolling. This is Gishki Abyss. Once per turn, you can choose one Gishki monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. Yeah, I mean, that definitely exists. Definitely exists. This is like the ultimate Egyptian god deck. I've kind of realized it's all about stacking your deck. I've never even heard. I should have read these cards earlier. This is Gishki Shadow. You can ritual summon exactly one ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters. This can be used as the entire requirement. Okay. So just like this. You can discard this card, add one Gishki ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Oh. This is great. It's not even a once per turn. I would imagine this is going to be a very good card. Yeah, you can discard this, normal summon. So I think this card is definitely going to be used. I think you're trying to mill cards without a doubt. Or like just use as many as possible and just keep using them from the graveyard. Okay, this is Gishki Ariel. Add one Gishki monster. It's a little too slow, right? Flip monsters. Gishki Diviner. Once per turn, you can declare one card name, reveal a top card of your deck, and if it is declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, return it to the top of the deck. Great Egyptian god support. Because the salvage adds it back to your hand, so this card just gets better and better. I think you're trying to get all these cards into the graveyard and just start picking them back out, adding them back to your hand. Okay. This is Gishki Vanity. During your main phase, you can discard this card. This turn, your opponent can activate spells, trap, spell, card, trap, spell, trap effects, or monster card effects when a Gishki monster is ritual summoned, or when a Gishki ritual spell is activated. It's like Misk, kind of, but not as good. I wish it also included like when Gishki ritual monsters activated their effects. It's also not a quick effect too. Kind of hilarious. This is like Kroger brand Misk. Never thought I'd see the day. This is Gishki Abyss. When this card is summoned, you can add a Gishki monster with 1,000 or less defense from your deck to your hand. This is, I'm sure, a 3F. I'm sure you are trying to abuse this card as much as possible. A soft once per turn summoned anyway. So this would be a card that you would normal summon, add a Gishki monster. If you have anything else on the board, right, you make Coral. Coral can just bring this back. It summons again. And you can even do it a third time, maybe. You know what I mean? There's lots of things that you can do. So that is pretty darn decent. I feel like there's a fish monster, too, that lets you normal summon a fish in addition. So that could be good. Although this is a beast. I guess that kind of makes things a little bad. And why is that a beast? It's a very unique archetype. A lot of different types. And this is Gishki Vision. If you ritual summon exactly one water ritual monster with a card effect that requires the use of monsters, you can use for the entire requirement. You can discard this card, add one Gishki ritual monster from your deck to your hand. I like these discard searches. It makes your deck becomes very small, which is awesome. Especially non-once per turn. You do 3 of these, you can add your entire rituals to your hand. You know, you can discard the other one. Where's the other one? Yeah, this one it's summoned. Didn't I have that one other discard? Interesting. Maybe I'm just mixing up with this one. But that's pretty decent. I can't imagine that's a bad card. And this is Gishki Reliever. When this card is normal or flip summon, you can target one other monster you control, return that target to the hand. You must control another face-up Gishki monster to activate and resolve this effect. That's quite interesting. Maybe just so you can like use. I don't know. I guess like if you have one of these, you want to put it back to the graveyard or something like that, or put it back to your hand so you can just keep like normal summoning and doing all that junk. But that doesn't seem great for some reason. Maybe I'm just missing something. But this is Gishki Selgigus. Pretty cool card art. But you can ritual summon this card using any Gishki ritual spell card. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points, draw one card. And if you do reveal it, if it was a Gishki monster, shuffle one card from the field onto the deck. Which is good. It's just unfortunate, like, if you're going first, like, if you just see this card in your opening, it just feels kind of bad. You know what I mean? Maybe this is something that you sided in. Because obviously it's a good card, and if you play the deck right, you're stacking all the time. You're just stacking everything. So you can use this effect at least once, and then you can just, you know, just like keep using this effect. It's just like get to draw cards. It's still very good. This is Gishki Soul Ogre. Okay, this says you can discard a Gishki monster to target one face-up card your opponent controls, shuffle that target into the deck. That feels kind of bad. It's not terrible, but it's not really amazing either. I don't know. I mean, this card's obviously just going to be very good in the deck. I think that's kind of the whole point. Maybe that's the idea, that you get to discard a lot of these cards that when they are summoned, you can just keep using it. So I guess maybe you want to try to keep this on the board. This is Eva Gishki Levianima. You can ritual summon this card with any Gishki ritual spell card. When this card declares an attack, draw one card, and if you do, reveal it. If it's a Gishki monster, look at one random card in your opponent's hand. No, you don't get to do anything with it. Drawing a card is good, but I just don't. I mean, ritual monsters inherently are bricks in your hand for the most part, so I don't think a battle effect-centric ritual monster is going to make it in 2022. Evagishki Tetrogri. You can ritual summon this card with any Gishki ritual spell. Okay, you can declare one card type, monster spell or trap. Your opponent can discard one card to negate this card's activation. Otherwise, both players send one card of the declared type from their main deck to the graveyard. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be too many times where there's like good, that's too good for your opponent too. It's a very unique card. This is Evagishki Gus Kraken. And then this is the one where you get to look at two cards in your opponent's hand, shuffle one of them. This is Gishki Cyclone. You can ritual summon this card with any Gishki ritual spell card. Okay. You can declare one monster type and attribute. Look at one random card in your opponent's hand. And if it is a monster of declared type and attribute, no, that's so silly. Okay, we'll just finish this out. Gishki Photo Mirror. You can use the ritual summon any Gishki ritual. You can also pay life points equal to the level of the ritual monster times 500 when this card resolves. You must also pay life points equal to the level of the ritual summon monster times 500. You can pay 3,000 life points. Huh, that's a very unique spell card. So I guess you just bring this out for free, right? That's the idea. Okay, I like that. Forbidden Arts of the Gishki. Okay, this is used ritual summon. You can also tribute face-up monsters from anywhere on the field whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Have the attack of the monster ritual summon by this effect. You cannot connect your battle phase. So this is just like the better version of this, obviously. This is Gishki Aquamir. Okay, you can also tribute monsters from the field or your hand whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. And you can shuffle this card from the graveyard into the deck to target one Gishki ritual monster in your graveyard. Return that target to the hand. So the two ritual spells are like good when it comes to advantage, and it fixes the inherent problem with ritual summoning, which is that you minus so badly. This is Spiritual Forest. Once per turn, if a beast, warrior, or plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle, it does not. Why is this in? I don't know how this made this way in here. Okay. I guess I just randomly put this. I was like, are all of these just like not? Huh? Where do these cards come from? Anyways, here are the last of the cards here. Aquamir Meditation. You get to reveal a ritual spell in your hand, target 2 Gishki monsters in your graveyard, turn them to the hand. Just a little too slow, probably. Although I guess you get to set it now, right? So it becomes a lot better for follow-up, I guess. Yeah, that's not bad. It's definitely not horrible. This is Ritual Buster. Only activate when a ritual monster is ritual summoned. Your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards or user effects until your next standby phase. You just can't ritual summon during your opponent's turn normally. So if you can find a way to do that, this card is nuts, right? Locking your opponent out until you're locking your opponent out now, right, during that turn, during your opponent's turn, and then it gets. I think that's too good. Like, I feel like that's very good. This is Aquamir Illusion. Special summon a Gishki ritual monster from your hand. It doesn't count as a ritual summon, unfortunately, but great synergy with the Nira Manas, if that's how you say it. And they actually have an extra deck monster, which is kind of cool. This is Gishki Marrowgeist. After damage calculation, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can attach 1 material from this card, shuffle the destroyed monster to the deck instead of setting it to the graveyard. Oh. Well, it's bad, but maybe they can get some more extra deck support someday, who knows. But that's definitely a pretty good lot. The new cards are all good. They all make the deck better, which I think is all you can ever ask for when it comes to legacy support. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.